Hey, horror fans! Once again, it is me, the horror miser, Monty G, trying to review the latest supernatural horror film. Yes, finally, I was able to see Tarot. Yes.
Y'all ready for this?
Hey, horror fans! Once again, it is me, the horror miser, Monty G. Now, Tarot is a 2024 American supernatural horror film. It was written and directed by Spencer Cohen and Anna Hallberg. The film stars Harriet Slater, Aidan Bradley, Jacob Battalion, Antovinica, Humberly Gonzalez, and Owen Florio. I probably mispronounced her name. Now, in this film, when a group of friends recklessly violates the sacred rule of tarot readings, they they unknowingly unleash an unspeakable evil trapped within the cursed cards. Those damn kids, always doing something they're not supposed to do. Horror fans, it seems that some horror filmmakers continue to use the same formula when it comes to certain supernatural horror films. Horror fans, you get a group of young people together, you have them have a party or have them use drugs. Then eventually they find an old or unique object, they mess with the object, and now they are now cursed. And now they have to fight for their lives in order to break away from the curse. Typical setup. Seen this plenty of times before. Now, like I said, we've seen this setup before in horror films such as Wish Upon and a Polaroid, where the object or a cursed magic box or an old Polaroid camera. Now, in these movies, they always have characters that the audience doesn't care for. They make dumb decisions. We have fake jump scares, and the film lacks any type of suspense or tension that you need for a film in order to be successful or to be a decent horror movie. And both of these films didn't have that. It seemed like filmmakers are continuing to push this particular trope of horror films, when especially comes to supernatural horror films, all the time. They're PG. Most of them are rated PG-13s. They're very tame. There's little to no blood or gore in the particular film, and as I said before, they make dumb decisions. They make stupid, dumb decisions. The characters are not fleshed out enough. We don't have nobody to root for. It seems we always come up with films like Wish Upon and Polaroid. So, American film writer Spencer Cohen and his partner Anna Hallberg bring us their latest project, and this is their directorial debut. This is called Tarot. Now, in this setup, we have a group of young friends. We have Haley, Grant, Paxton, Paige, Madeline, Lucas, and Elise, who are at this mansion that they rented to celebrate Elise's birthday party. Yay! Now, later on, after finding an old box that contains a strange deck of tarot cards, they decide to have their horoscopes read through the cards, despite the fact that the place that they found the box in tells them to keep out. But they do it anyway. Of course, it's not long before the gang starts dying in the manner of how the readings were read, and now the others must prevent their fate from coming true based upon what the cards were read to them. That's kind of what this movie is about. Now, I will have to get Spencer and Ann credit because I've never seen a supernatural horror film that used tarot cards before. This is a first for me. I mean, we've seen Ouija boards, music boxes, cameras. If you want to go even further, the cursed objects in the Friday the 13th TV show, all these types of cursed objects that be used, but never they used tarot cards before. I don't think they even used tarot cards in the Friday the 13th TV show, but we've seen plenty of horror films where we have this event that's cursed or that particular thing is messed up. We've always seen that, but never tarot cards. I mean, even Spencer and Anna came up with clever ways about how the figures from the cards, such as the High Priestess, the Hermit, and the Hangman, and how they're used to attack the gang. I thought that was a nice idea, what they came up with. In watching the film, I started to get 13 Ghosts vibes as the figures from the cards reminding me about the ghosts that were trapped in the house in that particular film. Yeah, because I thought it was a clever way when you see events that happen in the film. Now, I'm not giving any away because you see it in the trailer. I believe it's the High Priestess She comes into play right there. We actually see the figure of that one. We see the Hangman. We see some of the other figures. It kind of reminded me of all the ghosts in the 13th Ghost film. Unfortunately, Spencer and Anne decided to take the easy road for this usual by the numbers PG-13 rated horror film. First off, we really don't know anything about the gang other than the Haley and Grant have broken up and Alias issues dealing with her mother's illness. Other than that, we get no type of character development at all. So, we, the audience, don't get to care about any of them when they start dying from the figures, from the cards, from their readings. It's like, what about developing the characters? What made them become friends? Are they going to college? I guess they're going to college because we see they're just supposed to be going to some dorm, but the film never explores that. They never explore anything about their lives, where they come from, their backgrounds. I'm not saying we have to have an autobiography, but at least give us some type of character development because without that, we really have nobody to root for. I guess we're supposed to feel sorry for Haley because of the issues she dealt with her mother, but that's about it. We get nothing going on with these characters in this film. Now, at times, not all the time, the figures do look creepy looking, but we don't get to see them enough that would make them frightening and scary, like the ghosts were in 13th Ghost. I mean, everyone remembers all those crazy things that happened in that particular film. In this film, we barely get to see anything. They're always dark. It's very, very dim lit room. It makes for a nice atmosphere. So I'll give them credit as far as the cinematography firm is concerned, but we want to see the figures. That's what we're looking for. I mean, there's one particular scene that happens on the bridge, and we barely get to see that figure at all. And just like your typical PG-13 rated horror film, such like with Polaroid and Wish Upon, most of the deaths that happen occur off screen, and there's some splash of blood here, there's there, but we don't get to see anything. It's like, come on, guys, push the envelope. Let's see some gore and blood. Like I said, it seems that Spencer or Anna didn't want to push the envelope here because the depths that happen here the depths happen here will give the audience Final Destination vibes, but without the blood and gore. I mean, at least Destination gives you the what happens to all the people that die. Here, it all happens off screen. It's like, come on, guys, stop being afraid. And you really can't fault the actors in this particular film. I mean, they try their best in trying to instill some type of heart in this particular film, but they're hampered by Spencer and Anna's bland and boring script, which doesn't allow them to have any type of character growth or allow the audience to pull for anybody in this particular film. Like I said, outside of Haley, we really don't have anyone to pull for because there's simply there's no character arc. I mean, we get some little small speech that happens with Haley and the reason why she all of a sudden decided to become a reading in the tarot cards, because what happened to her mother, but nothing. Almost forgot. Then we get this typical expedition dump speech that we get that takes up at least almost 20 minutes of the film, which unfortunately makes this film even longer than it should be. It kind of drags the film out because this movie is only about barely 90 and 92 minutes long. But the exposition dump that we get from the actress that played Charlie Harbinson in the Netflix film Texas Chainsaw Massacre, she's now appearing in a lot of horror films lately, and it seems like every time when she's in it, she's wasted because she's wasted here. Like I said, it's your typical cliche moments where the audience really have to suspend their belief in certain things that happen in this particular film. Now, I'm pretty sure people who saw this film and take a look and says, wait a minute, that's impossible. There's simply no way in the world that can happen. There's two scenes that happen in this particular film, which I will not say where. I'm pretty sure you probably understand what I'm talking about, where it's like, what? There's simply no way in the world that can take place. And that's one of the problems. I said, come on now, that's cannot happen in a urban city. And that's all I can say about that without spoiling it. When the film failed for me is in the third act, which is the worst part of the film because you really can't see shit. It's all dark and most of it is CGI and it looks terrible and it's dull. I mean, here's your chance to save the film. You're in the final act. We're going to have maybe some type of redemption between Haley and what she's going through, and you actually now have a way to stop what's happening. But then you're going to make it real dark. You can't see shit, and then you're going to end it with a whole bunch of CGI that was almost just like in the Nun picture, well, which started off very good, but then you had that terrible third act with a bunch of bad CGI. This is the same thing that happens here. So overall, this is not a good start for Spencer and Ann for their first time behind the camera, as they've given us a very dull, boring, and lifeless horror film with your typical cliche characters, fake jump scares, terrible CGI, and a lackluster ending. So I'm going to give Tarot only one out of my five bloody gold coins. Like I said before, a very disappointing film. It's not the worst horror film I've seen so far, maybe even this year or other horror films, but is right up in there with The Apparition, Devil's Due, The Bye Bye Man. Yeah, this is one of those movies right there. So don't be surprised if you see this on one of my top five worst horror films of the year. So there you have it, horror fans. That is my review and video for Tarot. I hope you did like it and enjoyed it. If you did, please give it a thumbs up, like, and share because it does help out with that YouTube algorithm. Have you seen Tarot? What do you think about it? Do you think it was as bad as I said it was? Leave your comments and your comment section below and tell your thought about the film. Also, if you're new here, please hit that subscribe button, ring that notification bell. That way, we notify anytime when I put up new videos such as this one. Once again, my name is Lamont Smith, better known as the Horror Miser Monty G. And always remember that horror rules. And I see you in my next video. That guy stay safe out there.